cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
What you are now hearing is Mike Matthews doing his podcast for the first time in
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Quite a while, and it's been really cool because I have a new, basically a new computer, and I like pewter. It's a kind of material they make in Norway, and everybody uses it in Norway, and they go, oh yay, I've got pewter, just any way you say it.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's nasty. But hey, it's great to be here today with a brand new recording software.
Mike's
that I have not used.
Daily
And basically
Podcast.
A new computer. I had to do a massive reboot. I did a reset, basically. Completely reset my computer because it would not give me the dang password. So I finally gave up and I said, I'm going to now do this on my own. And I just realized now that I have not opened up Mike's Daily Podcast, the website. And I don't even know what freaking Jada Pinkett Smith says, I'm not built for a conventional marriage. Well then, is that your excuse? Okay. What does that even mean? Her conscious uncoupling. Episode 1884. Welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Actual Podcaster Valley. The last place on earth. So glad to bring you this show today because I basically had to overcome some adversity. I'd like to read you a little quote. In the midst of all the adversity, I found this fortune cookie piece of paper. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm hitting the microphone with it, but it's so tiny you can't even hear it. A dose of adversity is often as needful as a dose of medicine, said my fortune cookie ticket fortune.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And perhaps that's right. Perhaps that's bunk. Perhaps that's Mike Matthews. Perhaps that's Monk. Adrian Shalhoub. The podcast picture today, I will tell you as soon as I sign into my Mike's Daily Podcast Gmail account, which is MikesDailyPodcast.com. No, wait, MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com, which Ariel will tell us that later on in the show. I'm just foreshadowing it, as well as Basil's going to bark very soon, I think. Could happen right now. It did. Exciting. So, basically, my computer is brand new. When you reset a computer, everything gets taken off. All of the apps, all the programs. However, it keeps all your documents. So that's good. It keeps all your pictures. But it reinstalls Windows 10. Something happened, and that's why I wasn't getting that little... You know that little, the thing that you get, that when you sign in to your computer, you get that little password, right? It asks for you to fill out a password. Well, mine wasn't doing that. It wasn't giving me that little... Instead, it would just gray out. I'm like, how am I supposed to get into my computer if I can't even enter my password? It would just block me. And I talked to Geronimo. And yes, the guy, he hasn't been on the show in a long time. He wants to do another show soon. Hopefully we can get him on. But he said to me, Mike, the only way to fix this is to just rip out the hard drive, put a new one in. Did I do that? No. I'm still working on the old hard drive. But a brand new software for the recording of Mike's Daily Podcast. So far, it is working like a charm. I swear. All I did was I loaded this new software onto my computer. I know this is getting into a lot of tech talk, but remember, I had to overcome adversity, and a dose of adversity is often as needful as a dose of medicine. Just a dose of adversity helps the medicine go down. I so want to watch the Mary Poppins, the Emily Blunt one that came out earlier this year. It's now on Netflix. Lovely lady friend does not. Instead, she wants to watch that one that what's it called? The weird, it's the one about the serial killers. And it looks at, like, why did they do these horrible, horrible things? One more thing. Adversity is the parent of virtue. Just remember that. What's virtue? Hell if I know. What's a hell if I know? The elephant crossed with a rhino. And you know what? What I was saying was that I thought, oh no, I won't be able to do my podcast ever again on my computer at Mike's Daily Podcast Central Cafe anyway. And you know what? I got lucky and I had this system. I installed it and I had saved Mike's Daily Podcast, all the stuff you hear, the wonderful sounds of Cafe anyway. I saved it in a template. And all I had to do is, I swear, I loaded the software onto my computer. I double-clicked on my template and ba-da! Here it is, y'all. Here it is. I'm doing the podcast now. And I'm telling you what the podcast picture is now. Because I've just finally... I was stalling the whole time I was talking to you. I was stalling because I was trying to get the podcast picture. You know what? How about this? How about what life is? How about a skunk in a rose garden? That's right, a skunk in a rose garden. This is the rose garden in Oakland called, and I will tell you through the wonders of not to give all these plugs to Google's crap, but I don't pay for it, and it's kind of nice of them to do. Oh, yeah, wait, they're stealing all my information and giving it to some massive, dark, scary firm. Well, at any rate, through this, oh well, the podcast picture was taken at Morecambe Rose Garden as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. That's in Oakland, the Morecambe Rose Garden, and some scary old white woman. And I was talking to a black friend of mine today and telling her this story, and she goes, "There was a scary white woman that fed that skunk, wasn't it?" And I said, yes, because the picture is of a skunk sitting in this rose garden. My lovely lady friend took this picture. Did such a nice job. And you can see it now at MikesDailyPodcast.com. So, what have we learned from today's show? Well, first off, my lovely lady friend, lovely lady friend, is doing a group. She is a therapist, as I mentioned. Not a theraflu, a therapist. She is helping people get through grief. And she's doing a special group to help people deal with grief. I know. I want to take this course right now. In fact, she said, you can take it. I go, I can? She goes, no, not really. It's kind of a conflict of interest. But at any rate, we all lose something at some point in our lives. Sometimes we lose a lot of things all at once. And that's rough. And that's hard. And it's hard to remember that life goes on. It should go on. I don't think it should end when someone that we loved goes. I don't think we should follow them, if you catch what I'm saying. Some people, it just happens, and not that I'm not saying they commit suicide. I'm just saying there's these old couples that have been together forever. One of them dies, and the other one soon follows. June Carter Cash died. Johnny Cash died shortly after. Story after story about these things. But, that's something. Or Carrie Fisher, when she died, then her mother, Debbie Reynolds, died. And sometimes, and this is an actual thing, and my lovely lady friend and I were discussing this a couple nights back, about how some people have like the dealing with the loss is so intense. They have these heart attacks. They just die. It's sad. They die of a broken heart. It's an actual medical condition. Ah, what an uplifting topic. At any rate, I do suggest you go, if you are dealing with grief and it's too hard, and don't drown it in alcohol, don't drown it in some other addiction, food, TV, drugs, etc. Some people drown it in religion. They get so lost in religion. There's a myriad of things people get lost in. I say you go find a therapist. Go find a psychologist, somebody who can help you through it. And or just, start Googling maybe, some accredited individuals have done things online or written books that can help. At any rate, this has been a deep and wide topic of a show. Lots of different things we've hit today. Tech stuff, adversity stuff. And it all does come back to adversity, doesn't it? When we lose something, lose someone, lose a pet, lose a house, and then, of course, lose a loved one, then that is definitely adversity. And there are ways to overcome it, is all I'm saying. Hey, there's some great people here at Cafe Anyway we have not said hi to yet, and I think we should take the time to do that at this point.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor. It's great to have you back here at Cafe Anyway.
That's awesome.
Mike Matthews, isn't The Notebook the saddest movie ever?
It is. It is so sad. The whole... It wasn't Robert Mitchum. It was James Garner. James Garner, Rockford Files. What a movie to cap his career with. Seriously. There he is. He's telling this whole story, and at the end, the woman he's telling the story to is like, "Oh my God, you're the love of my life. Yes, you remember. Oh." End scene. There, that was my rendition. You're welcome. Rendition of Notebook. Oh, you didn't know the ending? It's only been out for 50 frickin' years. Get on it. Jeez. Well, now I don't have to, Mike. Thanks. You're welcome. Oh, and Endgame? Iron Man dies. But the last thing he says before he dies, I haven't even seen I just watch all the spoilers. He says, "I am Iron Man," or something like that. I don't know. See it for reals. You'll like it. Even though I ruined it for you. Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling Jr., who dated for a while. They're not together anymore. I'm sorry I blew that spoiler for you as well. They're not together anymore. It's done. Because Ryan Gosling Jr. did another friggin' movie with Michelle Williams that was super sad about marriages and loved ones that end up hating each other. All that to say, there's someone else here. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. I really didn't know that was the ending of Notebook, even though I don't understand exactly what you were just saying. He's telling a story through the whole... Never mind. It's beautiful and lovely. You should go see it. Okay, next show, it's going to be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. And I wish you all the best of luck to get through whatever adversity you're in. And, oh, yeah, see the picture of that skunk, which maybe is what you think of me right now, at MikesDailyPodcast.com. And, yeah, tell me what you think. What's your favorite movie that everyone has ruined for you because the ending, just everybody knows? He's the... Bruce Willis is dead. No, not really, but Bruce Willis is a nice guy, by the way. I was at a Amy Winehouse concert. I think the only concert she did in Hollywood. And I was at a special debut of Amy Winehouse. I was with a gal that used to do radio named Juanita. And we were down there, and Perez Hilton sat at the table next to us. I had no idea who he was. Juanita had to tell me. And Juanita and I did a couple shows together on the radio. That's right, because I filled in for one of the morning guys. And then, we were in this lounge above where Amy Winehouse was about to perform, and it was pretty dark. Somebody dropped their car keys, and Bruce Willis comes over with his cell phone, this is before smartphones, and he goes, "Use your cell phone. It's got a flashlight in it. You can see where it is." That was his big tip for us. Yes. Let's applaud that as well. And then Amy Winehouse took the stage and was fantastic. And the Dap Kings were there. I think Mark Ronson was probably there as well. What a show. And that's the end of this show. Thank you for listening. And tell all your friends, because you have lots of friends and they're important. And I'm sure they've all overcome adversity of some sort at one point. But what is your favorite way of overcoming adversity? Give me a call. 3 + 3 = 6 daily. That's the phone number. 3 + 3 = 6 as in Mike Matthews, daily as in what this podcast is. It has been for the past 3 days anyway. I just think it's amazing. All the tips I got when I went to the Microsoft community page to try and figure out why the hell I could not get a password to pop up on my Microsoft. And I love Microsoft and I love Windows and I'm a very anti-Apple type guy, but that's just me. And I could not figure this problem out. And I went on this community thing and all these guys tried to help me. And then what it all came down to was resetting the dang computer. Sometimes you just got to reset things in life, right? Strip it down to the bolts, to the actual whatever's there, and start over. But we're not going to start over this show. We're just going to end it. Thank you for listening to this very first show with my brand new downloaded software, sound making, podcast making software. It's been fun. And I hope you liked it. 336 daily. Take it away, Ariel. Woo! Talk to you soon.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!